Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Froe Show. My name is Frank Menken and I'm joined, as always, by my beautiful co-host, Joe Murray. I don't know which side you're going to be on yet.
Frank. I'm on this side.
That side.
No, that side.
That side? That side. Yeah, but the camera's flipped, so that side.
I have no idea.
I think?
Yeah.
Yeah. That side. You're going to be on that side.
I'm on this side.
No, but I mean, like... Because this way, right,
Yeah.
is right on Zoom, but it's left on my camera. Because it's a mirror image.
Okay.
It's flipped.
Yes. Okay, I get it now. I think.
Yeah.
All right.
Anyway, hi. Welcome to the Zoom episode. I will really quickly acknowledge, before anyone asks, I am on the tail end of a cold. It is not COVID, test negative, all good. It's just a gross cold, and I'm over it. But I feel much better now than I did yesterday and the day before. So I'm doing good. But it does mean that I sound a little bit like I smoke 20 packs a day for the past 12 years. So there is that. But all is well. I'm not going to die. So just thought I'd put that out there. And today is a Zoom episode because we got put into lockdown in Brisbane.
Yes.
Which is
great.
awesome. We love it.
Yeah.
It was just a cheeky little 3-day lockdown. We're currently, it's like almost 10 a.m. on Thursday. The lockdown is lifted as of 12 p.m. today, but we don't really have any other time to film. So we're just doing a Zoom episode to fill the gap, and hopefully it works out pretty well.
We're pros at this now.
So yeah, that's where we're at. We are pros at this now. We figured out the setups. Only because we've had to do Zoom episodes for guests.
Oh, yeah, true. So we're all over it. How good.
Yeah. This is much better than what our original Zoom episodes were at like the start of last year.
Yeah. Pretty sure mine was just
They were genuinely
Mine
terrible.
was just my computer camera, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, I had my EOS R attached like to the computer as a webcam, and that's what I was
Right.
using. But that only like streams 480p, so it was still pretty bad.
Good times. Good times.
Also, do you like my
I
shirt?
love your shirt.
I'm just gonna chuck that in there.
How is that new? I'm guessing.
It's got flamingoes on it. I think you can see.
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Yeah, it's a new shirt that I got. I was wearing it today for my good. It was my good vibes shirt, so that the lockdown got lifted today.
Oh, right. I'm glad you're wearing that shirt.
I was like sitting here with my fingies crossed, hoping for the best. Yeah, exactly.
Love it.
All right, Joe. I'm sure that you have something that you want to talk about.
Yeah. Well, I did the thing I said I was going to do 2 weeks ago, and I finished watching Chef last night.
Yes.
Wow, there is a big delay between us. I just realized. Oh, but oh well.
Yeah, it's a solid like 2 seconds. Wait, do you want to actually before we go into Chef? Do you want to test our delay
Yeah.
here?
Okay. How?
All right, ready? I'm gonna count down. I'm gonna count 3, 2,
Yep.
1, and then when I hit 1, I want you to say go the second you hear my 1.
Okay, so I say go on one.
Yeah, so the second you hear me say 1, you say go.
All right. Yep.
Okay, ready? 3,
Go.
2, 1.
Whoa.
That was almost
what
4
the
seconds.
heck? That is so long. Oh. Okay.
I'm really interested to see how this lines up later in
Yeah,
editing.
I don't really know how that's gonna work.
We'll just it'll be fine. Don't worry about it. We'll just have a lot of awkward pauses. It'll be like Oprah.
Yeah.
All right, off you go. What are your thoughts on Chef? Give me your full comprehensive review so that I don't have to keep talking.
Okay. I loved it. You hyped up the sound design in it so much, and the sound design was amazing, but like just the story. Like I nearly cried at the end. It was awesome. I loved it.
It's such a cute
It
movie. I
is.
love it. It's so well done, and like John Favreau has my heart.
Yeah, 100%. But yeah, I don't even know.
But what did you think of the sound design?
Oh, I reckon though, like Foley artists had, the time of their lives in some of those scenes. Um, like I was trying to
Yeah,
work out how they would have done it, and if they would have recorded a lot of it on set or not. But I reckon most of it would have been, because a lot of the scenes that were sound design heavy were like B-roll cooking scenes. So I'd imagine that they probably just had a boom set on like John cooking, so they could get all that Foley, and then they probably added little bits later. But like, it was so crispy. It was really nice.
yeah. I remember that. That was probably one of the first movies where I was really aware of the sound design, like for the first time, where I was like, oh wow, like that sounds really really good. And I don't think I'd had that before um, with a movie before.
Yeah, yeah, it was really nice. It was really good.
Do you have a movie like that? Like where like you realize for the first time that you were like, oh wow, like sound design.
Not really, because when I first got into, well, we're first wanting to do this music stuff, I wanted to write scores for movies. So scores like,
Yeah.
well, actually, Narnia was a big one for me, where I was like, this made me want to write scores, the Narnia theme. So,
Yeah.
but no, other than, not really, I didn't really have anything like that with sound design. I was kind of slowly introduced to that. But like, when I look at animations and stuff like that, it just, particularly recently, it blows my mind to think that none of that can be recorded on set, because it's an animation, obviously. And yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
That just, I guess that's where my love for sound design has sort of come from recently, is just knowing that all this stuff is not recorded like organically.
Yeah, it's all put in later. They fix it in post.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's definitely something that I've become more aware of now that we've been talking a lot about sound design and stuff. That kind of realization of how much stuff just isn't there in the originals. Like you watch a fight scene or like a gunfight or something like that, and you come to the realization that like, oh, all those clicky clacky gun sounds weren't there,
Yeah.
or like, bullet casings dropping, like all those really tiny sounds that you wouldn't actually capture in camera are all being added later by someone with a lot of
Yeah, there's
experience.
actually I think I've talked about this movie before, but the movie Extraction on
Yeah, the Chris Hemsworth one,
yeah,
right?
yeah, on Netflix. They Where they filmed, it was overseas, I don't remember where it was, but like, gun laws there meant they couldn't even have like plastic fake guns for their to shoot, like prop guns. So they had to have rubber guns. So nearly all of the weapons you see in that movie are actually rubber, and so then obviously there's no sounds at all that they could use from recorded on set or whatever.
That's so interesting. Like, I wonder what allows them to have rubber guns and not like, why can't you have a plastic gun?
I don't know. Maybe. Well, I don't know what prop guns are made out of. What do you like? What do you reckon prop guns are? I don't know.
I am going to Google it.
Or maybe prop guns are like fully weighted and everything, but just don't shoot. I don't know.
What are prop guns made of? Oh no, prop guns are normally like actually metal, so they could just be an actual gun.
Ah, right. Well, that's probably why they couldn't have the metal gun or something. I don't know. But yeah, they had to use rubber guns.
Yeah, fair.
So if I guess if they were using prop guns that were metal on set, then you could still get those little sounds from like the movements in your hand and stuff like that. So and like recocking it or changing a mag or whatever, you could probably use some of those
Yeah.
from the set. But yeah, for the movie Extraction, at least they couldn't do anything like that.
Man, that sucks. I feel bad for them. That's so much more work later to fix all those sound effects.
Yeah, but it's their job. It's literally like all they do.
Yeah, I know. And I get that I'm looking at it as someone who, like, that's interesting, but I would shoot myself if I had to do it as a job.
Well, that's me with video editing.
Whereas, like, you're like, yeah, like, I'm down. Like, you'd be excited
Yeah.
as.
Yeah, whereas like
Yeah.
that's me with video editing. Like I'll do it and it's interesting, but when I can't sit down for 2 hours and do it, like it does my head in. So
Yeah, you would rather
Yeah.
die.
exactly.
Yeah, no, that's, you know what? That is so fair. I acknowledge that. I literally like I so this is a good segue actually into like the YouTube stuff that's been happening. So I stepped away from YouTube for a little bit just because I felt like I was getting not stale, but just like I was recycling other people's content and I didn't really have my own ideas
Yeah.
for stuff. Um, and so I've been kind of sitting on that for a little bit and thinking about what I can do to make it more interesting. And one of the things that I've been doing is like the Jesse Driftwood approach of like making videos for Instagram and like Instagram stories and stuff.
Yes. Yeah.
And that's been like so good for me, just like creatively, to have like to not really care about it as much, but still be doing that like filmmaking creative aspect.
Yeah.
You know. And like I spent last weekend at the Gold Coast, with a bunch of my friends who I climb with, and we just filmed like a video in a day of us like when we went out to Burley Heads and went bouldering, and like that was awesome. Like that was just like I chucked together a quick like 40-second video in an afternoon after that, and like I just got all those creative juices flowing, and I was like super hype about it and super excited, um, and I'd kind of lost that with YouTube. So I'm kind of trying to figure out how I can bring that excitement back into YouTube, if that makes sense.
Yeah. It's interesting. It's always really
'Cause I-
hard to come up with
Yeah.
new content, I find. And like yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And my thing was always like, I can come up with video ideas pretty easily. Like, I have a lot of ideas, but my problem is that I'm not discerning enough about them. Like, I'm not going through and like picking and choosing which ones are the best. It's more like, which one can I film today, or which one can I film in like an hour, like stuff
Yeah.
like that, rather than like I'm putting the idea and the like actual video over the actual quality of the video slash the content of the video.
Right.
So that's just one of those things where I'm like, how do I always want to keep the channel like the Sarah Dici approach,
Yeah.
right? Like one for you, one for me.
Yeah.
And I just felt like all of the videos I was making were like one for you, one for you, one for
Right.
you, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, I posted that video of my 20th birthday, and I was like, all right, I'm just gonna stop for a little bit and just like take a step back and brainstorm, and see where I'm at in a little bit. So it's been exactly 2 months now, and like I finally feel like I'm kind of at a point where I can come back now, with some ideas. So I'm going to do a big old brainstorm session and come up with some actual ideas and figure out what I'm going to do with my
I like
content,
it.
which is fun.
I'm excited. I'm very excited.
Yeah, and there's some super interesting stuff in the works. Actually, I've been talking to some people. I've been sprinkling some stuff in. I've been working out some stuff. It's I am in the process of making a deal with a place that I can use the space and like interview the people that work there and like film videos in that
Oh.
space and that sort of thing. And it should be super interesting um, if that all pans out. Because they want to use that stuff for their social media and they want to share that stuff to like show their community, and like I need content, so it works out pretty well.
Yeah.
Plus, it's something that I really love. I'm being very vague about it, very specifically, because like I don't really want to I don't want to out them or
Yeah.
anything. But you can probably figure out what it is, Joe.
I think I do.
Yeah, it's where I'm going this
Yeah.
afternoon. Yeah, yeah. So I've been talking to them, so that should be interesting. And figuring out how I can do stuff there. So like, should be really cool. But I've got a lot of ideas, and I've just got to like, sift through
Yeah.
them, I guess.
Yeah.
Something really interesting though that's happened is that my growth hasn't slowed down.
Oh. Wait, you still been growing?
Like I'm at 184 now.
Whoa.
Yeah. So the last 28 days, I haven't posted in 2 months. My last 28 days stats, I've still gotten almost 1,000 views and 12 subs.
Wow. That's so strange.
Yeah. Yeah. So my content is still being pushed by YouTube,
Yeah. What?
regardless of the fact that I'm not posting, which is really interesting. I wouldn't have expected. I did not
No,
expect that
this
at all.
just like proves to me that we have no idea what the YouTube algorithm is doing.
Oh yeah, we have
No.
no clue. I have no idea what goes
No,
on over
we
there.
thought we did. We tested a few things, and it just like, it. Yeah, it does make sense.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
I don't understand. That's weird. So, like, what do you reckon's gonna happen when you do start posting again, and like your quality's probably gonna be so much better?
I honestly, I have no idea. Like my best guess would be that like it doesn't get pushed that much by YouTube. It just gets pushed to my subs.
Right.
But yeah, I really don't know.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get you to talk for a minute because I really have to blow my nose. I'm gonna mute my mic.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, like, don't understand YouTube algorithm. But I wonder if, like, it'll be that thing where, like on Instagram, you don't post for a while and you might gain a few followers, and then suddenly you post again and everyone's like, oh, I'm following this guy, and then they, like, unfollow. I wonder if, something similar, like, to that would happen. I'd like to think it wouldn't, but, yeah.
I mean, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised, honestly, especially if my content changes from what I was
Yeah.
doing. But like, I don't think it really matters. In all honesty.
True. That's right. You are wanting. I remember this now. Your content is gonna like
Yeah.
change.
Yeah, quite drastically. I was gonna sit in front of the new, like I think I'm gonna, the thing that I sent you that I made the other week, where I'm storing all my stuff,
No. What?
my rack.
Oh yes. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's gonna become like a secondary set as well eventually
Ooh,
at some point.
That's cool.
Yeah.
How's lighting gonna go in there?
Should be easy. I've realized that I can bring the big softbox anywhere now. Because I can just squish it,
Oh, of course.
which I didn't realize that I could do because I have no brain cells.
So for 12 months there, it just didn't
So-
leave that room.
Yeah, literally for like 6 months I kept this massive. It's like a 32-inch softbox. For like 6 months I kept it in this room because I didn't realize that I could just squish it and move it through the door. because I didn't want to have to take it apart and
Yeah.
rebuild it. So I just like didn't think. Basically, is what it comes down to.
Yeah, good on you.
Yeah, thanks. Um, but yeah, so that's kind of where I'm at with the YouTube thing. Obviously, we kept doing the podcast because we love doing it, and that's like, you know, that's a lot easier for me to commit to, I think.
Yeah,
Because I don't really have to come up with ideas for it. It's kind of
kind
just
of just
like
happens.
it's like a weekly catch up,
It
I
is
guess.
a creative catch up.
Yeah. With some other little tidbits like wiggled in here and there. Um, but I find the podcast super easy to commit to every week, especially because like I make a commitment to
Yeah.
you that I'm going to be here every
Yeah,
week.
it's a lot easier.
Whereas I make a commitment to myself, and then I'm like, oh, you know what? I'll do it next week. Like, don't worry about
Yeah,
it.
exactly.
I am my own worst boss.
Best and worst boss.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's so much easier with a second person because like you keep each other accountable as well, and you don't want to let the other person down or anything.
Yeah. That being said, I was so ready to drop the emergency episode this week.
I know you were. I know you were.
Well, also like I woke up yesterday and I felt like
Yeah,
death.
okay.
Like I wanted to die, and like there was no other time that we could film, and it was like really, really riding on how I woke up today.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Well, that's okay because
But-
we're here.
we're here. We're doing it. Yes. Oh my god,
And we feel great.
dude. The more I talk, the worse it
Oh, no.
becomes. Honestly. Like, wait, ready? Do you want to hear the grossest thing? I'm gonna cough like over my mic, and you can hear. This is how I know that it's not COVID, right? Because well, also I got tested, but this is how I knew before that. I like the COVID symptom is a dry cough,
Yeah.
right? Listen to this. It's like wet. It's wet as. It's gross.
That is disgusting.
I was in the shower this morning, and I like did one big cough, and it's like my whole mouth just like filled with phlegm.
Ugh. That is gross.
Anyway, I'm gonna stop talking about that now. But that's where I'm at. That's my personal little story for today.
Personal little update.
Yeah, exactly.
Yum. Love it.
Yeah. Have you got anything else you want to talk about, my friend?
Well, I am wanting to upgrade my gear a little bit. And I wanted to talk to you about this because you obviously know a lot more about camera stuff than I do.
Buy a red.
Buy red. I'm looking for something a little just a little less in general. You know?
Buy an Ari.
No, I don't want a camera. Oh, have I told you that I've been, well, I haven't used one, but I've seen an Ari in person?
Yes, I know, and it makes me
it's
sad.
so nice.
Actually, that being said, I have used most of the reds and like 2 of the Aris at some point.
Okay, well, that's not fair. I've seen one.
So I got to touch the buttons.
Oh, that's cheating.
Have I told this story
I
on
don't
the
think
show?
so.
Oh, so hang on. I'm gonna do this, and then I want to hear your
Wait,
gear
I think
story.
you might have actually, but it was a long time ago, so tell it again.
Okay, I think I talked to you about it, but this would have been pre-podcast.
Yeah, maybe. I don't remember.
Anyway, so when I was in New York at like the end of 2019, I went to B&H, which is like the big photo and video realtor. Yeah, realtor?
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever. The big photo and video realtor in New York and in America. So they only have one store in the US, and it's in New York. So I went there, and I walked in, and I had like my camera, and I had all my stuff, and blah, blah, blah. Anyway, I walked into the door, and this guy comes up to me, and we start chatting about cameras and that sort of thing, and he's like, oh, what sort of stuff do you do? And I'm like, oh, I'm a photographer, and like, this is end of 2019, so I'm like, yeah, and I'm like starting to get into video stuff and doing videography and that sort of thing, and I just bought my first L series lens and blah blah blah. Anyway, and this guy immediately was like, oh, like, this kid's like, I think I was 18 when this
Right.
happened. And so he was like, oh, this kid, blah blah blah, but he's clearly passionate and like really is really interested in this. So he took me into like this back room where they take like the directors, like actual Hollywood directors and like movie directors, and where they show them like the actual cameras, where they have like all of their ARRI, like the LF and like the minis and all the reds and the red Monstro 8Ks, and they're all like on those big beefy tripods, like fully decked out with like the Cine lenses, like the Zeiss lenses and the and the Canon
My
Cine lenses and
goodness.
that sort of thing. And so he was like, I was in there for like an hour, and he was just like taking us around and like, this is the Red Monstro 8K, and like here's like the ND filters, and like here's how it works, and here's the buttons, and how the battery works and stuff like that. And it was just
What
so
the heck?
sick, and it's like you're just like walked into this random place, and you get to play with these like $8,000, $15,000, $30,000 cameras, just because I happened to walk in at the right time with the right person and had the right gear with me.
I want to do that now. Can we go back?
This is why I carry my gear with me. This is carry your gear
Yeah.
with you.
Yeah. That's
Anyway, that's my little New
yeah,
York
that's
story.
an amazing story. Yeah.
All right, off you go.
Yeah. Oh, so I want to. This will be funny. The ADD and the kit lens just aren't cutting it anymore. You know, the kit lens just isn't
Yeah.
isn't it. And
No.
the 50 mil is often too wide for in this room. Like at the moment,
Yeah.
it's set up on the opposites, like right in the corner, and it's still just a mid shot of me.
Too wide or too telly?
Too telly. Sorry, that's what I meant. It's too, yeah,
Yeah.
not wide. That way.
Yeah, not wide enough.
Yes. Too zoomed. That's what I meant. It's often too zoomed
Yeah.
for this room.
Yeah, it's times one. It's times 1.6, so it's. Hold on. 50 times 1.6. It's an 80 mil.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. So yeah, I would like a 24 mil lens with better, just with better glass. But I also kind of want something that goes further than 50 mils. So like the 24 to 70 is sort of where I'm at. But then I also have seen a lot of there's a cheap 24 to 105 that Canon make. Do you know much about that?
They're pretty good, actually. They're sharp as, but they're only f4.
Ah, I see.
So hang on. I think there's also a 24 to 70 that's 1.4. That's f4. Sorry, not 1.4. That would be insane. Yeah. So the 24 to 70 f4 is just over $1,000.
Mm.
And the 24 to 105 is 1.5.
Right.
Yeah, but do you really need? Like, I've found. Okay, here's my thing. Hold on, let me get my lenses.
The only reason why I'm thinking, further than 70 mils is for, all of our outdoor shoots. Yeah. 70 mils, I don't know about you, but 70 mils when you shoot often isn't enough.
Sorry, I'm getting my lenses. All right. Oh, they're all sandy. Okay.
I've seen when you shoot some photos, don't you find that 70 mils is enough for you?
Yes, but don't forget that it's going to be times by 1.6 on yours. Mine's full frame.
Yeah, okay, that's true.
This is really sandy. That's actually not very good. Okay, so This is my 24 to 70. This is a 2.8 lens. This is my 20. This is my 16 to 35. Ooh, this is my 16 to 35, and it's f4. Um, this lens, the 24 to 70, is much heavier because there's a lot more glass in it to make it
Yeah.
f2.8. Um, but I've found using the 16 to 35 that, in all honesty, I don't really need the extra stop of light that the 24 to 70 gives me.
Right. Okay.
So, honestly, you will probably be fine without a 1.8 lens. Also because a 2.8 lens. Also because I have one. So if you need this for any reason, I have it.
Okay. That's fair.
Ooh.
So, with that, then, do you think it's worth getting a? Do you think I should just get a 24 to 70, or should I get like the 24 to 105?
Um, it's future proofing, right?
Yeah,
So
and
I got the 24 to 70 because I knew that at some point I was going to get the 70 to 200.
yeah, that's true.
Um, but I also totally understand only getting the 24 to 105 because on a crop body like yours, that's
Yeah.
perfect. 24 because 24 to 105, that's what's 105 times
Oh, I was just
1.6.
about to do that actually.
105
168.
times 168. Yeah. So like that's heaps.
Yeah.
So it's up to you. I think it's also whether you want to spend that extra $400 now or whether you want to buy a 70 to 200 later.
Well, that also kind of brings it back to, if you or like Froe Media gets a 70 to 200, then
yeah.
like is there any point if I get a one as well?
Yeah.
Would you would you use the 24 to 105 if like for have we talked about the new kind of Froe Media content we want to do as well?
I think we've talked about it briefly, but we can talk about it a bit later in the
Yeah,
show.
I'm just thinking like because it's a pretty versatile lens. Would you use that for those kind of shoots?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, though, I would probably more likely use the 70 to 200.
Right. Okay.
If not more. If not more. Like, if not putting like a teleconverter on it and making it like 100 to 400.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Hmm.
But yeah, I don't know.
I don't know either. That's my
That's a hard
predicament at
one.
the moment. 24 to 70 or 24 to
Yeah.
105.
Yeah. Um. Look, they're both really good, and you'd go for the F4 version,
Yeah.
obviously.
Well, unfortunately, I don't have enough money
Yeah.
to get the 2.8 version of the 24 to 70.
Yeah. I would go the 105.
Yeah.
Just because you have the versatility with it. And if you're going to get the F4 version of the 24 to 70 as well, you might as well get the 24 to 105.
Yeah.
The only thing is it probably won't be as sharp,
No, that's what I'm thinking.
but only ever so slightly. Like it's an L series lens, so it'll still be sharp
Yeah.
as. But yeah, that's the only thing that I could really think of.
I think I saw one like secondhand for $500 on Facebook the other day.
A 24 to
Yeah.
105. Oh, wow.
That's where I kind of started thinking about it because I was like, oh, hang on. You know.
Yeah, no, I would 100% like go out, check that lens, and copy.
Yeah. Let me see if let's see if it's still here. Oh, maybe.
I gotta stop taking my lenses to the beach, man.
You need to stop leaving them in the sand.
I literally don't. They stay in my bag.
Do they?
Yeah, unless they're on my camera. But like, I'm gonna have to get them serviced at some point.
Yeah. Actually,
Because this one's 3 years down now.
really?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, it's probably time to get them serviced then, or to get it cleaned, like professionally cleaned.
Yeah. There's a guy in Brisbane that does
Mm.
it. And he's pretty good apparently. But yeah, it's about
Yeah.
time. I think I also need to get a new. I have to go down a layer in my filters
You reckon?
because this one is dirty
Ah.
as and scratched and a bit shitty. But yeah,
The good stuff.
I reckon I can go for the 105.
Yeah, okay. I think so too.
Any other gear questions?
Well, just while I was looking at Marketplace, just then I remembered a a thing I saw a while ago. And it's this like great big analog mixer that's like 24 channels, but it was like $150 or something.
Oh.
Yeah. And that also put me in a bit of predicament. I was like, do I get
And you
it?
didn't cop it because
Well, there's another one for $200.
for
Yeah.
200.
So I'm kind of thinking, but I don't have any.
Where can you fit it?
That's the other thing. I can't put it anywhere, and I can't really use it.
Why not? Surely you can.
I guess I could find a way. You could probably sit here.
Yeah.
We'll see. Maybe next week there'll be a new prop.
Yeah,
Like, it'll
maybe. Also, have you reset your camera?
Yes, I did.
Okay, cool. Just check it.
Yeah.
Just check it. I don't want to end up with a black screen and have to like make some terrible drawing of you
It's
to
like a
put
stick
up there.
figure.
Yeah. All right. Do you want to talk a little bit about where we're going with Froe?
Sure. We are. Well, where do we come from? Where do we start? We coming from, I guess. Oh, actually, I don't even know. Where are we going?
I guess start with FPV with John,
Yeah. Okay. So.
and I'm gonna go blow my nose
All
again.
right. Sounds good. After our what is it? Yeah, after our episode with John, and he talked a lot about FPV. I obviously went home and bought one, which is unfortunately still on its way. I'm really quite mad that it's not here yet, but with that, we wanted to like find, try and figure out new ways that we could use that. So it could either be indoors or, there's a lot of outdoor stuff, and something we realized we hadn't seen much of is FPV around rock climbing and outdoor like sports climbing. And from that we sort of thought about what our other hobbies are, and Frank obviously does a lot of climbing. So he figured, if he were to climb up a certain climb and then abseil down, you'd be able to take photos of them. And we should be able to do some really cool like little videos and stuff for social media, and even just of like me and my friends climbing, with both, like, would we use a Blackmagic rig to do videos while climbing? I don't know. Yeah? So like the Blackmagic rig plus an FPV drone and maybe a bit of the Mavic stuff, but yeah. So hopefully some really cool sort of sport climbing kind of content is where we're sort of moving in with Froe. Yeah.
Yeah. So one of the really big catalysts for this was, at my climbing gym there was a competition, like a climbing competition, and I had my camera, so I just like filmed a bunch of footage and stuff, and I just chucked together a video, like within 24 hours, and like got a massive reception on it. So people really really loved it, and that was kind of like the click in my brain to be like, oh, like, people really enjoy this, and it is one of those sports where a lot of people feel like they can't do it, and so they make up for that by watching
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
So, I was watching I watched two climbing documentaries over the course of like our mini 3 day lockdown here. I watched Free Solo with Alex Honnold, and I watched The Dawn War with Tommy Caldwell and Kevin Ortinga. I don't know how to say his last name. Um, but the Free Solo one is super interesting because it also has a lot of footage of him like discussing, actually filming the climbing with his film
Oh,
crew. Because like his film crew is just like a bunch of his mates, and like one of the big things that he kept coming back to was like, because his what he was doing basically was he's Alex Honnold, for people who don't know, is the first person who ever climbed the north face of El Cap without any gear. So he did it completely free solo, no ropes, no equipment. Um, and he's a world renowned free solo climber, and just a general like
yeah.
climber as well. And so they were filming this, and this was like his biggest feat yet, was doing El Cap free solo. And there's a whole conversation that he has with his film crew of being like, hey, like make sure that you position yourselves so that if I fall, you can't film me hitting the floor,
Oh,
basically.
wow.
Yeah. So, but stuff like that, it was super interesting, and like, that was one of the most critically acclaimed documentaries of that year. Not even just as a climbing documentary, but just as a documentary. So there's clearly a space for things like this for people to to be super invested and super interested, because it is one of those sports that you can't really just go out. Like people, you can, but people feel like they can't just go out and do.
Yeah. Well, you don't realize how difficult it is
Um,
until you try it, really.
yeah, but also like you also feel like it's much more difficult than it is.
Yeah.
Um, so watching these documentaries and stuff is like kind of people's way of experiencing it without doing it, So that was kind of my realization of like, there's this gap here that is slightly filled, but whether we end up doing like client videos for climbing people, or whether we end up doing documentary stuff, you never know,
Yeah. One of my goals for us now is to be able to pitch like a climbing documentary to Netflix and get it on Netflix.
That is interesting that you say that, because that is one of my
Oh,
goals
really?
too. Yeah, that was one of mine
Awesome.
too. Um, so just got to find a subject now, I
Yeah.
guess. Because I kind of have come to the realization and conclusion that filming documentary style stuff is much more interesting to
Yeah.
me than filming like rather than filming fiction.
Well, are there any of your friends that are planning to
Um,
do something crazy in the next 2 years?
No, but I can put a call out there. I can ask
Just
people.
put some like.
There's definitely some crazy people. Actually, you know that guy that I told you about, that guy that's like the coach that I'm friends
Yeah.
with? Yeah, I can't say a lot about him on the show, for several reasons, but he probably has a couple crazy climbing people that are going to be doing some stupid stuff soon. So
Okay.
I'm sure I can get some info from him.
Yep. Sweet. I'm looking forward to it.
Sick. All right. I'll have a poke around, and then hopefully like this year or next year we can film a documentary.
Okay.
That'd be sick. That'd be super sick.
I better start watching documentaries now. Watching more.
Watch Free Solo.
Okay. I will.
It's on bye. It's on Disney Plus.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. I will watch that.
So big recommend. Also, just because I really love Alex Honnold as a person. He's just he's such a dry
Yeah.
person. It's amazing. Like one of the things he talks about is like in the in the movie, he has a girlfriend,
Yeah.
right? And like her whole thing is like, please don't die. And his whole thing is like, if I die, I die. Like, no, like people will miss me for a little bit, but then they'll forget about it and it'll
Yeah.
be fine. Like it doesn't really matter that much. Um, and actually, one of the this is completely diverging, but one of the super interesting things from the documentary is that they do an MRI on his
Oh.
brain, and what's really interesting is like what the part of his brain that lights up for like the fear response, like the fight or flight response, needs significantly more stimulation than the average person.
Oh.
Yeah, like so they showed his brain. They did a test where it was like they showed a bunch of pictures, and he would press a button when he saw the picture, and that would record the response. It was like um, a wave crashing into a ship, like person being murdered, like stuff like
Yeah.
that. And like they showed the comparison between a normal person's brain and his brain was like not lit up at all, or like just lit up, and the other person's brain was like massive
Oh.
circles.
Right.
So
Yeah.
interesting, and it's such an interesting insight into like how he's comfortable, free climbing 3,000 foot
Yeah.
cliffs.
No, that's insane.
But yeah,
I'll definitely watch
but
that.
would recommend go watch Free Solo, go watch The Dawn Wall. They're both great climbing documentaries. They're very different though. Free Solo is a lot more about the actual event of the climbing, and The Dawn Wall is a lot more about like Tommy Caldwell's past and how it's brought him to this point. And then like really only the last 20 minutes of the documentary are him actually climbing the Dawn
Right.
Wall. But definitely super inspired by those documentaries, and I really, really, really want to shoot a documentary now.
I'm keen.
Actually, I this is so
Oh,
dumb.
no.
This is so dumb, and I cannot believe I'm telling this on the show. But I had a dream last night, and I'm always very cautious about telling people about my dreams, because dreams are one of those things, where it's like once you say it, you can't take it back, and it's just like
Yeah.
out there. But I had a dream last night that that I like met Bob. So I met Bob Irwin a little while ago. I think I talked about this on the show, but I met Bob Irwin a little while ago. I had a dream last night that I met Bob Irwin again, and we like started talking and like became friends, and I started like shooting a documentary like of him slash for
Yeah.
him. And it was like him in like the Bahamas or something, like free diving with whale sharks. Which like literally that's my worst nightmare. Like I would die if I did that job. Which is stupid because like I want to climb cliff faces and I'm terrified of water.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, that was my dream from the other night. So maybe that's a cute little premonition. Who knows?
Yeah, maybe. Maybe we could be in the Bahamas with Bob Owen in 12 months.
24.
24 months. I see.
I mean, I'm down, obviously.
Really? You'd film him free diving with like killer whales or something? I don't know.
Honestly, I would get over myself if I got to
Yeah?
that point. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. If I got the opportunity to film a documentary for Bob Irwin and his only requirement was you have to swim in deep water, I would be like, all right, man, like, looks like I'm getting over my fears today.
Okay. Good to know that, if I ever need you to conquer a fear, I'll just call up Bob Owen. Yeah.
Yeah. Look, this is my thing, right? Like, I have my fears, but if like I get to a point where I don't have a choice and I have to get over it, I will. I
Yeah.
bloody will.
Yeah. Love it.
Oh man. All right. We've probably got like 5 minutes left, Joe. Do you want to close with anything?
That's all my content for this week. That's all I got.
That's all your content
Yeah.
for this week. Do you have anything else you want to add for the documentary stuff?
I don't know. I'm just excited.
Yeah.
So much.
When's your FPV stuff
I
getting
don't
here?
know. I got an email the other day being like, we're out of stock of this thing or something. It's like, thank you for
Oh.
telling me like 2 weeks after I ordered it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
cheers, guys.
So, I don't know. I think I might follow that up, either today or like early
Yeah.
next week.
Just be like, hey, give me a more expensive drone, but cover the cost.
Yeah, I don't think that'll happen. But yeah.
Also, quick question: what actually is your shot at the moment? Because I can't see it. I'm looking at your Zoom camera. Can you see the water boiler in
You
the
can
background?
just see it. Yeah. It's part of the aesthetic, you know?
That's so ghetto, and I
I
love it.
am getting a curtain to go straight across there.
But you've been saying
I
that for
know, but
months.
like now it's actually gonna happen because I put up
It's
I put
actually
up
gonna
the
happen.
sound panels, and I've done some mixing in here,
Yeah.
and it's like it's just not enough. It's still just too
Yeah.
live in here, so that curtain's gonna happen, and it'll cover that. So
Yeah.
I'll probably buy it. Actually, I might even buy it Saturday because I'm going shopping Saturday. So yeah,
Ooh. That's a little bit
but yeah.
exciting.
So my shot's like from here. You can just see the water boiler to like the edge of this brick. Yeah.
Right. All right. Fair
And
enough. I was gonna say Happy Easter, but then I realized that like this will come out on Monday, so it will have already been Easter.
well, it's Easter Monday on Monday, so it is Easter.
Yeah, but like,
Oh yeah.
yeah, all right.
Happy
fair
Easter
enough.
for yesterday.
And it'll still be Easter in the US when this episode
Aha.
comes out.
So happy Easter.
So we got it covered. So, happy Easter. We hope you have a great Easter and you eat lots of chocolate and
Lots
have a
and lots
great
and lots of
time with your
chocolate.
friends and your family. Joe, do you have anything you want to close with?
No, don't think so.
All right.
See you next week.
Are we going to do a Patreon episode?
If you want, if I'll see how much battery I got left on my camera.
I don't think we might skip
I think-
this one. I don't really have
Yeah,
anything.
I think it'll be a bit difficult in different rooms.
All right, we'll skip this one. We'll be back to Patreon next week when we're back
Yeah.
in person. Alrighty. Thank you so much for watching or listening to this episode of The Froe Show. If you've enjoyed it and you want to see more, please check us out on patreon.com/The Froe Show. We put the Patreon episodes up there. They're 15, 20 minutes of us just rambling basically about anything. Plus anything else that we think of, we put up there. So go check it out, patreon.com/The Froe Show. Joe, where can they find us on social media?
Instagram at Froe Media and Twitter at the Froe Media.
Exactly. Thank you so much. We'll see you next week. Hope you have a great week and a very happy Easter.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
The delivery.
I'm gonna fade my mic out. Goodbye.
This is me fading it out.